everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and I am a travelling entrepreneur. So in August, my boyfriend and I were invited by our Albanian friends to their wedding in Albania. So we decided to make a trip out of it. We flew into Tirana, we rented a car there, and we decided to drive down and explore the southwest coast of Albania. And this is a country that I really didn't know too much about going into it, but I learned so much when I was there. And I kept a travel diary. And I always keep my camera with me, so I'm just going to tell you a bit about what happened, a bit about Albania through this little thing and the clips that I took along the way. I saw things I'd never seen in my life before. Chickens on the highway, a car on its side on the pavement, kids driving a tractor out onto the highway. We were meant to take a break from driving and meet a friend in Vlore, but when we got there it was getting dark, we still had hours to drive, but when we called to cancel, our friend warned us that if we drove any further that night then it could become dangerous. So instead they offered to host us in their family home in Vlore. We got to try homemade liqueurs, traditional Albanian sweets, a traditional Albanian breakfast, and were shown some real hospitality. It was really special to be able to be welcomed into an Albanian home and learn more about the country and the culture from them. And it just made me think how few people are probably able to experience those kinds of things. In those 2 days of driving from Tirana to Qeparo, I saw more car accidents than I had seen in the rest of my life combined. 3 of them were serious, and 2 of those serious accidents happened on the mountain trail, which we would have tried to do after dark if our friend hadn't warned us not to. The roads were pretty scary, and in the most respectful way possible, the Albanians drive like crazy people. At least there's enough of them that drive like crazy people to make you scared. But the views were absolutely breathtaking. Mystical clouds hovering around the mountains, winding roads that go straight down for miles against the rocky tundra, and beautiful sand and sea that wait for you at the bottom. Our first full day in Qeparo was pretty cloudy, so I spent most of the morning reading my book by the seafront just before lunch, and then hanging out on the terrace and watching the birds fly around the mountains. We decided to try to go to a beach that you can't reach completely by foot, called Gjipe. Gjipe? We almost convinced ourselves when we'd nearly got there that the road was going to be too narrow and steep for our Fiat to handle, but thank goodness we tried. It was definitely narrow and there was a lot of navigating, particularly because a herd of goats arrived and a goat farmer that were crossing the road, so we had to wait for about 10 minutes. But we even got to chat to the goat farmer through a range of Italian and body language, and it was really beautiful to see and something we wouldn't have experienced in our own country. We decided to go and visit a little village about half an hour away from where we were staying, but we ended up reaching a farm on the way there, and after that point the roads were just too rocky and we decided they'd be impossible to pass for our little Fiat. But that's the thing about Albania, there'll be impassable roads, journeys that take twice as long as you expect. But it's a great exercise in letting go of control, enjoying the journey, and just taking pleasure in wherever you find yourself. There was a lake that we'd been really hoping to visit, and we made it there on our 4th or 5th day. But when we got there, we were pretty disappointed. There wasn't much to see, and it was completely overcrowded by tourists. It was pretty, but definitely not what we expected. But this still ended up being one of my favourite days. We found a little quiet spot by the river to eat our lunch, and then we got back in the car and left, and we went to the nearby city of Sarande. We found a burek to eat as a snack. Bureks are cheap, you can find them in most bakeries around Albania, and I definitely recommend having a go at eating them. They have vegetarian options too if you're vegetarian like me. This one was spinach and cheese. The cheese there is really good. It's kind of like Greek feta, but a little bit different. Great descriptive skills. I think we were both glad that we were staying in Qeparo. We went back in the evening and we sat on the beach, and I felt really calm there. Soon it was time to leave Qeparo and head back through the Albanian mountains back to Vlore, where the wedding was happening. When we arrived there, the hotel that we were meant to be staying at for the wedding had been overbooked. So we were sent to another local hotel, which actually ended up being the house of an old Albanian woman who was very stern looking, very tough, and honestly we were a little bit scared of her. She didn't speak any Italian or any English, so we had to communicate through body language and, her asking for money. She definitely wasn't going to let us leave without paying. But she did pick a fresh sprig of basil for us and pick one of the zestiest limes I've ever smelt in my life and give them to us as a little gift. But the highlight was the wedding. The ceremony happened at sunset on the beach with the mountains in the background. And then at the reception, there were so many things that I loved to watch and take part in. We watched lines of traditional Albanian dancing. I even got up and learnt how to do it and joined in. And the food just kept on being served, and then people would stop to dance and the bride and groom would play games. So many photogenic, picturesque scenes of the way that people live here that you pass. Melon stands waiting at the side of the road, a man leading his donkey up a mountain by foot in the pouring rain, an old man in shirt and trousers and a hat on a bicycle, families waiting at the side of the highway with their suitcases waiting for a bus that they don't know when it will arrive. It makes me sad to think that some of these quirks may no longer exist in a few years because of tourism. It's needless to say that I had an incredible time in Albania. I learnt so much. But I really hope that if you do decide to travel there, you decide to do it responsibly, you decide to support the local culture. So thank you for watching. With any luck, you'll have learnt something new in the last few minutes about Albania. If you want to see any other of my travel diary videos, they will be linked in the description. We've got Marrakesh, Singapore and some others. And I hope that you will subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. So I hope you'll stick around. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.